Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone from wherever you're watching us from. You're welcome to Clearview TV. You are welcome to Ask a Lawyer. And today, once again, we have Barrister Timmy with us to ask you questions, to answer whatever questions you have. And our topic for today is the step by steps on how to acquire a property in Nigeria. Barrister Timmy, you're very welcome this morning, this
Thank you
afternoon, this
very much,
evening.
Ms. Bolu.
Thank you very much, ma'am. All right, so Ma, today we're looking on how to acquire property in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Ma, I think we should just dive in. What are some things that is necessary for us to get or to have or required of us when we want to acquire property in Nigeria?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. There are a number of things that you need to know or things you need to do when you are acquiring a property. And those things are very important for you not to fall into trouble or be duped or whatever, or to get a wrong property that you didn't plan for. So basically, the first thing you need to do when you want to acquire a property is to determine your budget. How much do you need for that property? What kind of property do you need? And how much is required? And how much do you have to acquire that property? That's the first thing you have to determine. Then the second thing is to identify a suitable location. What part of the state or the country or the city you chooses to acquire that property. You have to put that into consideration. Then the third thing you need to look at critically is to choose the right real estate agent, which can be a lawyer or an estate agent um, for you, so that person can give you professional advice in respect of that property. Then number four, you have to perform a search, a title search, and a legal due diligence to clarify who is the true owner of that property. So if, let me say, for example, in Abuja, you choose to acquire a property in Abuja, then you need to go and make a search. And in that search, you will require the true owner of that property, and the true owner of that property will be identified, so you know who you are doing the business with. Then the fifth thing you need to do is to conduct a thorough inspection. The inspection you need to carry out, the location of that property, is it a waterlog? Is it an area that is not too good for you to stay? If your purpose of acquiring that property is for residential, is it a residential area? Is it an area for business? So you don't get a property where you think it's for residential, and at the end of the day you find out that it's a business environment. So because of that, you need to do a inspection, very thorough inspection. Then the sixth thing you need to do is to consult a legal professional. That legal professional will help you do the search, will tell you most of the things to do, and will even conduct an inspection on its own for you. Then the seventh thing you need to do is to make an offer and negotiate, and which that professional lawyer that you are consulting will help you to negotiate prices and know the price rates, the current price rates. Then the last thing you need to do is to make the deal, making the payments in the presence of your lawyer, your agent. Basically, those are the important things you need to know when you want to acquire a property.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. So you have listed about 8 things, right, that we are to pay attention to when we are to get when we're about to acquire property. You said you have to determine your budget. So it's important. I think that's just like important whenever you're about to make any kind of purchase. Make sure you know, okay, this is the amount I want to spend on this thing I want to buy. In this case, the property you want to get. This is the amount I want to spend on this property. And then this
Exactly.
might even help to look into particular areas, because I understand that in some areas, some landed property are more expensive than they are in other areas. For instance,
Yeah.
you might get landed property at a higher rate in places like on the island in Lagos or in places like Abuja, and then you might get them cheaper in some other rural areas. So it's important for you to understand your budget. I think it's also important for you to know what you want to do with that property. I guess you mentioned it when you were talking. What is it for residence? Is it for business? So you can also look into the area. All right. Then you also mentioned, yes, identify a suitable location. You said we should also get a real estate agent or a lawyer, a professional. Many times we think that we are able and capable of doing these things ourselves, but these people are professionals for a reason, and it's important for us to acquire, or for us to or I say receive that professionalism that they have and make good use of it, to utilize it. Yes.
Of course.
Then he said we should also perform a title search. Ma, can I just ask, can you just expatiate a little more on title search? What do you mean by a title search?
Okay. A title search is basically trying to know the root of the title. Most
Okay.
times, properties like that in Nigeria or its environs have people who have stayed from time immemorial. And then you know, if when you get the title of that particular property, you know where the property originated from. You understand? You
Okay.
need to know that, so that for cases of controversies, you know the route, you know how to go about it. So your lawyer basically helps you go to 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 Aegis. Let's say in Abuja, it is Aegis you go to. They help you search for the title of the property. So once you get the title of the property, you already know where the title of the property originated from, and the last person that got the property before you
All
that
right.
is coming to search for that property. Yes, basically.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. Then you also talked about thorough inspection. You go to the land and then you inspect it. Is it abiding by all the necessary laws? It's hope it's not violating any law in state or extant law in the state or in the country. Then you
Exactly.
consult a legal professional. So I was just going to ask, when because many of us, once you hear that, okay, it's a lawyer that is handling this matter, you just want to rest assured, you don't want to bother your head with all that the lawyer is supposed to do. But at the same time, it's important for us to know what to expect of a legal professional. So I want to ask, what is the legal professional supposed to do when we are handing over our landed property? That, okay, I'm involving you in this purchase. What are the things that the legal professional is supposed to do? What are the things the lawyer is supposed to do, so that we too can also be alert and be sure that we're not sleeping on our rights?
Okay. The lawyer is basically the one to do most of the things I've just said, apart from you getting your budget and getting the exact place you want to purchase your property. The lawyer is the one that does the inspection. The lawyer is the one that does the findings. The lawyer is the one that still goes ahead to know about the root of the property. That's getting to do legal search and all that about the property. It is the lawyer's duty. Yes.
Okay, ma. All right.
I don't know if
Thank you
I've
very
answered
much.
your question.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. You've answered it. You have answered it. So the lawyer is the one that is supposed to carry out all these searches, the legal search, the title search, the inspection, and everything. Thank you very much, ma. Before you go ahead to make an offer,
Of course.
right, ma? Okay. Now, I'm just going to take us a bit for other. After making the offer, that's at this point you're already at the contract stage now.
Of course.
Okay. So after that, what next, ma?
If you chooses the property or the inspections and the findings the lawyer got for you, you think it is okay, and you think you like the property, and you have inspected the property with your lawyer, and you think that this is what is accurate or appropriate for you to use, whether for residential or otherwise, then you go ahead to negotiate for payments and make payments.
Okay. So Barrister Timi, after making payments, I want to introduce now the deed, the title deed. What does a title deed, or what is supposed to be on a title deed?
Okay, basically, the title deed, it's a document, a legal document that shows the contract of that purchase of that property. Every detail, every single detail. So even the survey plan, it is that document that all those informations are contained in. And then the amount you use in paying for that property, the informations of the person that sold the property to you, and every other necessary information you need is in that property. So that's what a title deed basically is. It is the document that shows the authority that's been given to you to be the owner of that property.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Barrister Timi. So the title deed is the document, the legal document that shows the person that actually owns that property. And so as a purchaser, after acquiring land, you are supposed to get a title deed. Now, Barrister Timi, my next question is, who gives the title deed? Is it the lawyer that prepares it, the lawyer for the purchaser that prepares the title deed, or the lawyer for the vendor that prepares the title deed? How does the purchaser get the title deed?
The lawyer prepares the title deed, but there are other documents that are needed when purchasing when you have already purchased a property. It's also that most of those documents, apart from the deed, is also a C of O. The lawyer is the one that prepares the title, that's the deed itself. But for the C of O, it is the government that gives it to you, and it's also the lawyer that processed that C of O, as the C of O. Yes.
Okay, ma. Ma, what is a C of O? I mean, after we've talked about a title deed, what then is a C of O?
Okay, the C of O is just the short form of a document which the government gives to you, just the abbreviation of a document that the government gives to you to show that you are the original owners of that property. And sometimes when you want to sell property in Nigeria, you already know that with some people will require a C of O for them to purchase that property, because that shows that the government knows you as a property owner. So if I'm going to want to buy a house, let's say for example in Lekki, I have to see the C of O of that property before even talking about a deed. So once I see the C of O, I know that it is the government that has given you authority of ownership of that property. So it's even more powerful than a deed.
Okay, so Barrister Timi, the C of O is even more powerful than the deed of title, the title deed rather.
Of course, yes.
Okay. I want to ask now, this C of O, is it the document that shows that because I understand that you're supposed to get the signature of the governor and the stamp. So is that all contained in C of O?
No, that's not all. You have all the most of the informations in the deed are also there. The description of the property, the address of the property, the owner of the property and the measurements of the property. So you already
Okay.
know where the property starts from and where it ends.
Okay. So basically, all of these contained in the C of O.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other document that is involved in the purchase of a landed property?
The only document that is involved after all these that I've spoken about is the survey plan. So,
okay, the
and
survey
the survey
plan.
plan most times are included in the deed. Yes, those are basically the documents that are very important when you want to purchase a property.
Okay, thank you very much for setting me. When we were talking about the steps that are needed, you talked about the professionals, you talked about the real estate agent, and then you talked about the lawyer. Is there any other professional that is needed? Since now we're talking about a survey plan, I'm not sure if it's a lawyer that will prepare a survey plan. So is there any other
No,
professional?
it's not a lawyer. It's not a lawyer. It's a surveyor that prepares the
Okay.
survey plan. Yes. He's also a professional in measurements of the property and all that. He's a surveyor basically, yes.
All right. Thank you, Barrister Timmy. So you're
You're
saying now
welcome.
that we need a real estate agent, we need a lawyer, and we need a
Yes,
surveyor. Okay, my question
exactly.
now is, can a real estate agent also carry out the duties of the lawyer?
Not at all. No. The real estate agent is basically to get a property for you in the place that is suitable for you, where you have chosen that you want to get a property. So his duty is to look for a suitable property for you when you have given him the description of what you want, and then maybe if you choose this, you can involve him when you are making payments or negotiating for the property basically.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. My next thank
Okay.
you very much for setting me. My next question now is, in the instance where you've already purchased your land, let's say along the line you were talking about carrying out due diligence, but in the instance where maybe you didn't do due diligence, and then you find out that this landed property is already a subject matter of a court case. So it's already in court, and some people are already there's already dispute over it, over the ownership of this property, and now you have purchased it. What is the next step? What do you do next?
If the property in question is in dispute and it is in court, the first thing you need to do is to get a lawyer. The lawyer will go to court and make himself apply for him to be a party to that case, so that if the judgment is given, it will not affect you, because if you are not a party to a matter and judgment is given, sometimes it affects you. So when you just need to get a lawyer. The lawyer goes to court to apply for him to be a party to that matter, and then you state your facts of what you know and how you are interested in the matter. You now become an interested party, because you've already included you've already purchased the land without knowing that there was a dispute. So you need to be a party to that matter. So you go as an interested party and apply to be joined. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for setting me. But is there a possibility that you may not get that property?
Yes, there are possibilities. Sometimes it will be that the person that sold that property for you is not the true owner. So in that case, you will just now start holding the person accountable that sold the property for you, and that person sometimes will just have to pay you your money back. But for the property, you might not get it if the person that sold the property for you is not the rightful owner.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma. I think the consequence of not doing due diligence is too grave for you to be negligent, rather, for you to be negligent in that regard. So it's just important for you to get the right professionals, especially a lawyer.
Of
Get a
course.
lawyer that can do the job, that can carry out the proper inspection at the land registry, that can carry out the inspection in courts, that can carry out the title search, everything, just to be sure that you're buying your property from the person that actually owns the land, so you don't get into that whole ruckus or that situation where you might eventually lose so much money, because it's also money to start a court case. It's also money that we use to recover the money that you have. It's just a lot.
Exactly. As
Yeah.
most times I advise people, I say you get a property for as much as millions, and just to get a lawyer that will protect that property and get the appropriate documents, you now start feeling like you are spending so much. By the time you lose that property, you will now know
They
the
spend
importance
so
of
much
getting
more.
a professional here.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Timmy. Thank you very much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I do hope our viewers will be able to send in their questions so that we can answer more. I will just go over what we have discussed this evening. We're talking about step by step, or steps that you need to take when you are acquiring a landed property, when you're acquiring a property in Nigeria. And the first thing we mentioned was determine your budget. How much do I want to spend on this property? How much am I willing to spend on this property? And this will also help you while you are deciding the location where you want to where you want to purchase this property from. You have to get the right professionals. You get your real estate agent, you get your lawyer, you get your surveyor, your real estate agent to help you with the to help you with getting the landed property at the right place, your lawyer to help you with the whole legal process, and then your surveyor to help you to carry out the survey plan. Then your lawyer is to engage in the title search, thorough inspection. You can also do this with the lawyer to be sure that, okay, this property is in the right place. It's not violating any extant law. It's not violating any existing law. And then you go ahead to the contract stage. You make an offer. I want to buy this land at so price, and then you conclude on it with the vendor. In the presence of your lawyer should be involved in all these processes. I know I have mentioned before, and I'll be saying it again. It's not when you have a criminal case that you need a lawyer. It's not just when you have a criminal case you need a lawyer. You also need your lawyer in all these in all these other aspects, especially when you're buying land, especially in
Of
real
course.
estate.
Of course.
So you go about the inspection. We also spoke about what a title deed is. A title deed is the document that shows that this is the owner of the property. And we also spoke about the C of O that is gotten from the government that shows that the government recognizes this person as the owner of this property. And then after all of this is done, you can see that, yes, I own this property, when you have your title deed and when you have your C of O. I don't know if I'm missing out any other important points, but these are the major things that we have discussed this evening, and these are the major things that we have to take home with us. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for tuning in to Clearview TV. Don't forget, ask a lawyer. We are here to answer your questions. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.